Joshua, and I'm playing Barrios' Waltz number 1.
Yeah, go ahead, you can keep music. let's start with some of the things about the ornaments and see what we can work on. So, give me like here, right in the beginning.
Yes.
There. Can you show me what you're doing? Okay, I think we can find something better maybe with the fingering. I would just start with a bar, or like half of a bar in the first measure, so you don't have to do this. You're doing this. Yeah, I think it's a little bit not super necessary to do all that movement.
Okay.
And if you just start here from the beginning and do this here, the C right here on the third string instead of on the second string, it'll keep your hand in the same position. So, can we start with just that in the beginning? Yeah, and I think I would do the slur, so maintain the bar just how you were doing, and I would maybe even do the slur with the fourth finger, so I have even more space between the first finger and the slur. So 1 and 4 instead of 1 and 3. Exactly, so I would do. And then when I open up with the first string, open, then I would do the same. Were you doing this before? Yeah. Okay, so let's try that super slow in the beginning. With a slur. Exactly. Do you feel like that's a little bit easier to do?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it'll be just easier because your hand is a little bit more open and you don't have to stretch so much and you don't have to be moving positions unnecessarily so much. So let's do one more time slow. Instead of doing 3, 2, 1, I would just do 1. I would do 2 here on the second string, and then make the 1 flat. So you can kind of stay all within the second position instead of doing what you're doing before, where you're doing second, but then first, then second again, then like first again. So I would do that. So I would do it as high as a fourth string and do this. And when I do it open, I keep my finger here because I don't need to move it anymore and I need it again. And then get to the next part. So one more time from here. Open and keep the fourth finger down. Second finger down, and it's a matter of just doing that. So it's super close. So we go from here. So you're super, super close to the next thing. Yeah, exactly like that. But I wouldn't even like try to reset my hand. I would try to keep it a little bit more close. So when you do this, you see how I have my second finger in the second string? And it's just bringing it up one more fret. So it's very close. You don't have to do just find a little moment to release it. So here, I would release it for a moment and then reset it, so I don't have to be holding the bar down for the whole time. So can we go right from here? To make it a little bit easier, I would do this. I would maybe move the third finger, so I don't have to do 4, 4. I would do here 4, 3, or I would even do it open, actually, is what I would do, so that I could here do this open, do 3 here, and then do 4 here. So it'll just be exactly. So you have it open, and then 3 here, open E. So you land here with 4, and you need 3 here. Yeah. And so here, I would try to use a little bit of my wrist. Exactly. So that when you do your ornament there, you don't just have to only use the force of the pinky. You have a little bit of help for the rest of your hand and like the natural motion. And then that motion that goes up kind of releases itself when it goes back to the 1. And I think in this case with the 3 and the 4 it might be a little bit easier to do the snare that way. So can we go open and then D? And then here, I think something that can help a little bit also with the stability for your slur is I would just prepare the first finger behind it. So you know that you're gonna need this for the beat, so I would just go like this. Yeah, and to me this feels more stable than just this, and then prepare that. Okay. So there, I think what I would do is I wouldn't do the fingering where I'm repeating the 1 so much, because that might make it a little bit harder to connect. So here I would do. So here, instead of doing 1 and this, I would do and then 2, 3 here. Yeah. Up. So I would do this. So 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. So I would start right here. So 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, open E, and then 3, 2, and then back to the same as the beginning. So can we try that one more time just to see how that would be? 4, 2, 1, open, part. Okay, yes. Okay, and then let's keep going here. That I think sometimes you were getting right and other times you weren't, so let's just go from here. So on the bass and the sixth string. Do that with fourth finger, just open the hand up a little bit. Exactly. C sharp, D sharp, sorry. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So be a little bit more, I think, if you change these little fingerings, I think it's going to make it flow a lot easier. And just be careful being a little more precise with the notes here on the first part, because sometimes when you're playing it, you're getting all of them right. Other times there's one or two that you're changing up. Like here with the bass, sometimes you're doing the A here. Here, it's not always the D sharp, so. So let's go to the next part here.
It's 5 minutes.
Okay. So here, I think it's a good opportunity to try to change the character a little bit more. You have something that's a little more lively here and more full of brightness, I think. And then here, getting a little bit more bass heavy, to me it sounds like a little bit more mysterious. So I would try to get a little bit more clarity out of your bass sound. Okay. So can you try to get a little bit more brightness by trying to get a little more from the nail? Yeah. And I would get maybe even a little bit brighter too, just to get a little bit more clarity in the sound. Exactly. sections that are being separated by something else but are talking to each other. So for me, this is one thing that talks to this, and then this is like the parts that are kind of communicating with each other. So I would bring those out a little bit more. What is this? I'm sorry. There. And then so I would try to give that a little bit more direction. Can you just play these two next to each other? And grow a little bit more in the second one. Yeah, so this I would give even a little bit more volume. Can you do it one more time? Exactly. So I would try to exaggerate those things a little bit more so you can hear the different parts that have different character and have like their own separate thing within a bigger piece. I think will make it sound a little bit more engaging. Let me see. Since we don't have that much time, do you have any other questions?
Can I ask a question about what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it kind of like these two and this would be like one thing, and then here would be one thing. So it's like you're playing this, playing another one, here, and just like pick up back where it is. Like try to make them sound kind of like distinct. Or
so what I would do is if I was practicing this, I would kind of like separate everything so I can hear them side by side without having something in between. So I would do this. And then you have so to me, those are the two parts that are the same that are talking to each other. So I would drill this. How do I want this to sound in relation to the next part? I want the next part to have more tension. So I would do. So it's kind of like if you have them side by side, how would they react to each other? And then it's the same on this part. So this is the part that interrupts it, right? So. In between also talk to each other. And so how would you fit all of those pieces of the puzzle together? Because they're really the same phrase, just move to a different part. So make sure that you know how each part fits into one another, so you can know like this part needs to be a little bit less, so I have room to grow tension here, and then come back down. Because this waltz has so many different sections that feel so different, that I think it's a good opportunity to really find a character that is really distinct for each part, and play around a little bit more with color, and exaggerate more the volume, so that it sounds more contrasting. And I think just be a little more mindful of the notes. And I think those fingerings can help, so that you're not doing things that make it extra uncomfortable. Yeah. Any other questions? Great job.